Day 1, President Romney stands up to China.
Romney's never stood up to China.
I think we all knew that campaigns move faster now than ever before, but this week we found out for sure that, and we found out, at least I found out, in an advertising war. Two Romney and Obama ads back to back. We'll watch them both and then let's talk about them.
President Romney's first 100 days. What will they mean for Ohio? Day 1, President Romney stands up to China, demands a level playing field for our businesses and workers. By day 100, President Romney repeals regulations that are strangling our energy industry and costing us jobs. President Romney's first 100 days. For Ohio, already a better place to do business as we see more factories and jobs coming back.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Day 1, President Romney stands up to China.
But would he? The Washington Post has just revealed that Romney's companies were pioneers in shipping U.S. jobs overseas, investing in firms that specialized in relocating jobs done by American workers to new facilities in low-wage countries like China. Romney's never stood up to China. All he's ever done is send them our jobs.
Okay, so Neil, you wrote about the Romney ads, which were really clever because they were tailored to individual swing states with different messages.
It was kind of what we've just seen as sort of an innovation on an innovation. The first was that they came out, and I've talked to people who did the McCain campaign. They never did anything like that, which was ads specifically tailored for four different states, making different messages all in 30 seconds.
So the one we saw was the Iowa one.
The Ohio one.
Ohio, sorry. There was an Iowa one. There was a North
Virginia,
Carolina.
North Carolina. And they all emphasized different things. One talked about going after China, the Ohio one. Then there was an Iowa one that talked about reducing the debt and so on. And then, fast forward a week and we see the Obama people using several of these ads, actually. The first opening frame, essentially, and then going after saying, oh, you say you're going to do all these great things on day 1. Well, you're an outsourcer, and let me tell you, viewers.
So it takes less than a week now to take the other guy's ad and turn it to your advantage or against him.
It's amazing. The technology that these campaigns possess right now is really amazing. In Chicago, there are these edit bays. There are probably 12 of them on the main floor
Obama headquarters.
in Obama headquarters, and they can splice these things immediately. Traveling around with the Romney people, Stuart Stevens, his main strategist, travels with an iPad and a MacBook, and he can basically cut ads on the fly on the back of the bus, and they can get sign-off from the candidate right there. So it's really amazing.
But I gotta say, the thing that caught my eye in that Ohio ad was buried in there was a little acknowledgement that the economy was getting better in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I thought, wow, that's a pretty big concession.
I know, that was funny. It was a subliminal thing. I mean, semi-subliminal, but when I highlighted in our story, I got an immediate note from the campaign. No, we're talking about how good it's going to be after he comes in, and it's like, that's how it felt.
Although I will say, I was on the bus tour with him in Ohio and in Wisconsin and in Iowa and in Michigan. He actually made that case everywhere we went, and he made it arguing that it was the Republican governor in that state is the one that should be given credit for the rebirth of the economy.
Yeah.
No, it is very different.
We should talk though for a second about the substance of particularly of the
outsourcing.
Yeah, I mean
that became the substantive subject of the week that as reflected in those ads, right?
And it could be devastating. I mean, it came out. It started with the Washington Post story talking about outsourcing under Bain. They haven't approved of the story. The Romney campaign, they've been fighting against it, but the cat's out of the bag. The Obama people grabbed a hold of the thing, and it could be really devastating for the Romney campaign. I mean, he's the guy who creates jobs. It's all about his private sector experience, and now they are, gutting it basically in these ads.
And the truth, like so much in politics, the truth is a lot more complicated than the 30-second ad would have you to believe. The ads are based on stories regarding job growth overseas, that these were companies that Bain invested in, and they added employees at overseas facilities. At the same time, they were adding employees in the U.S., and that you could make an argument, and the Romney campaign has made a very vocal argument this week, that those jobs did not take away from any jobs in the U.S.
Right, but that's a refined argument for politics.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's
and
not something you can distill into a 30-second ad.
And the fact that they're pushing back so hard. I mean, they're even asking for a retraction of the original Washington Post story on this.
They've got a
really
13-page dossier on that story and these ads to
tells
make
you how
the
sensitive
case.
the subject
Well, if
is,
you
right?
lodge in enough people's heads just the word outsourcer, and they've been saying outsourcer in chief, pioneer in outsourcing, that germinates, and that can be really, really devastating.
One of the more interesting numbers in our poll was actually, if you look at we had asked the question about Bain, whether or not it's a good thing that he has a record as a businessman or a bad thing. Now you got to remember, this is basically the hallmark of Mitt Romney's campaign, and more voters, I think about 28% to 23%, more voters said that it was a bad thing. His business background was a bad thing, and if you look into the swing states, it was even bigger.
It was worse. That's what it was.
I think it was 33% and 18%. So clearly, the message the Obama people have been driving is actually, it seems like there is some empirical evidence now that voters in swing states are actually seeing that, and it is doing damage to his reputation there.
So I think the broader lesson here is that there are two narratives here. That the Obama narrative is, I saved the country from disaster, and we're on our way back. And the Romney people have to destroy that narrative. And the Romney narrative is, I'm the one who knows how to create jobs. That guy destroys jobs. And the Obama people have to undermine that narrative. And that's really what the ads were about, to me at least.
Yeah,
well, and it's particularly important for Romney to push back against the Obama narrative, because people don't know Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
And so half of what they're learning, and maybe more, is coming from Obama, not from Romney
well, that's
himself.
what our poll showed, is that as people get to know him more, his negatives keep creeping up. And
Right.
We'll see.
The more
we'll
you
see.
know.
Long way to go,
Yeah.
and we'll be talking about jobs a lot in the next 4 or 5 months. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
All right.
it very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.